Two Pros and a Joe back for episode number 2, guys. We made it from episode 1 to 2. That is the hardest part of a podcast, I think, is getting from the episode 1 to continue into episode 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we're very excited about this. Before we get to you guys, I just want to tell everyone we are on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. All you need to do is just search Two Pros and a Joe, and the 2 is the number 2. So make sure you go and subscribe on those things, and make sure you go and you rate us as well, because that's how we're going to build and keep moving up those charts. And we've already had a ton of great feedback from all of you out there. So really appreciate people letting me know what you think and what we could do better, what you want to hear, what you don't want to hear. So really appreciative of everyone who took a listen to it and let us know their feedback. But what are you guys up to? Marcus McNeil, Greg Camarillo, the Two Pros in the building. I am the Joe, Matt Scraby. How are you guys doing today?
Good. Doing great over here, particularly because we're on Zoom and I get to see Marcus's new beard. That thing is
it's nice.
Yeah, I got that thing flowing right now. I got him to press it out today at the barber.
It looks good. Like my beard I have right now does not look anything close to Marcus's beard. It's got a long way to go.
It looks good, man. We can't pull that off, Scraby. That's a Big Mac beard right there.
Hey, man, this is that quarantine beard right now. I'm just letting it run over. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you're letting it run over. Like I tried to do that in the beginning, but then I started becoming like a caveman, and it just looked really bad. So I keep my beard trimmed up, but it's never going to match yours.
Hey, appreciate it.
When we get into this here, we're going to start with big decisions. That is where we make decisions that are plaguing the NFL right now. And we also like to just get right into it. So that's what we're going to do. And we're going to start with America's team. And we're going to talk about the Cowboys and how much of a dumpster fire the Cowboys are right now. After Dak got hurt, just seemingly like the Cowboys just imploded a little bit. But we're going to talk about, what do the Cowboys do? Do they trade for a quarterback while still being able to make the playoffs this season? Or do they just ride out what they have with Andy Dalton? Let's start with you, Greg. I know you were really excited to talk Cowboys here. So what do you think? What do the Cowboys do with the rest of their season?
All right, I'm going to answer your question with a sound effect.
I love
Abandoned
it.
ship. The ship is going down. Abandoned ship. Anyone that can be traded, get rid of them. Get some money off the books. It's a wrap. I mean, I get it. The NFC East is trash. One of these trash teams is going to make the playoffs. It is realistic that the Cowboys could get it together to make the playoffs. But they know, we know, Jerry Jones knows they're not going to win a championship. Their defense is porous, horrendous. So they traded Everson Griffin, I think today or maybe yesterday. So it's clear that they are not in a mode where they're trying to bring in talent to get better. They suck. They know they suck. Get rid of people and contracts that are bringing the team down and get ready to start rebuilding for next year.
Come on, man. Come on, Greg. Man, I can't sit here and let you stand on get rid of the Cowboys right now. You can't implode that team, man. Jerry Jones is too cool, man. He's too cool.
He lost his cool today. Did you hear about that?
Yeah. He lost his cool a little bit, but it's rightly deserved. After you drop a game like that where you just get manhandled, you got to lose your cool. After your quarterback gets smacked like that and don't nobody come help him out, you got to stand up and say something as a coach. But because the NFC East is so terrible, I think that's why they still have a chance. Everybody's so bad. It's either like you either win the division and go to the playoffs, or you playing for Trevor Lawrence. What else do you do?
I mean, that's very true. I don't see them. I don't see the Cowboys doing anything really. I think Jerry Jones he doesn't like what he has, but he's not mad at it. He's still the talk of the town. I think Jerry likes the drama that he created. He told a host to shut up today on the radio. So that was great. And then he later apologized. Come on, Jerry, stick to your word, man. If you're going to tell a host to shut up, just tell him to shut up. But he seems like he's feeling the heat a little bit.
He is feeling the heat. He should be feeling the heat. They spent a lot of money to keep their key guys, and they suck. That is solely on Jerry Jones, who wants to play owner and GM. That's on him.
They ain't dropped the bag yet. They ain't dropped the bag off of Dak yet. They never dropped the bag off of him, so they still got some left. And we all know Jerry Jones got the biggest bag. We all know he got the biggest bag, right?
The biggest bag.
Those
Maybe I want to take a little. I got to take a little detour though, kind of what Marcus was talking about with Trevor Lawrence. So he's in college. He's projected to be the number 1 pick, and just dropped a hint that he could stay in college. Big Mac, does he stay in college, or is he going to come out and be the first pick?
That's really a case-by-case scenario. You know, you got different type of guys every time like that. You know, some guys are more about staying and being with their brothers and finishing 4 years. And then you have other guys that are just like, you know, this is such a big business decision for me that I'll be actually losing money by staying in college. So whichever way he goes, I have to respect, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, Dabo Swinney and Clemson, they got something special there now. You know, they can leave a mark that'll be forever written in college football history if he stays, you know. Yeah, so maybe what that is something.
What am I doing? I'm actually, now that you say Trevor Lawrence is in the picture, I'm thinking that I might tank my team just to get Trevor Lawrence in there. I know that there's a couple teams that are tank for Trevor, and I don't know. Let me ask you guys, is that an actual thing? Do teams actually tank in the NFL, or can you even do that?
Absolutely, you can do that. So this is an interesting case study. So
here we go with the case study.
I love evidence. I'm a former Miami Dolphin. Last year, the management for the Miami Dolphins did everything they could to tank. They did what I said about abandon ship. They got rid of literally every player, star or not, that didn't want to be there. Got rid of their contracts, got rid of their locker room presence. But the only problem with their tanking plan was Brian Flores is a great coach, a great motivator, and he got this squad of seeming to be like practice squad guys to play well. So the management did what they could to tank, but a good head coach kept the team motivated. So yes, Jerry Jones could fire people, cut people, go into tank mode. But I mean, I can't imagine you tanking more than the Jets, and they're trying to win. They just suck.
I love that. They are trying to win.
I mean, but doesn't the Cowboys have plenty of talent? Like, there is not a shortage of talent. And then you just bring in McCarthy this year to kind of like get the ship right. Like, don't you give him enough time to like get in there and do what he needs to do and make that recipe work? We all know that when you put that pot roast in the oven, you know what I'm saying, at 350, it don't start off like that. You know what I'm saying? You got to let it sit in there for a while.
Big Mac, you're speaking a lot of logic, man, and I do agree with you. I'm going to change my mind. You got to let the he did it.
What are you, Jerry Jones over here?
Big Mac won the first big decision. He's right. You got to give a new coach a full offseason. They had no offseason. You got to give him an offseason to get his guys right. Big Mac, all right, man, your decision. You did it.
I had to rep for the Cowboys, man. My dad, it was on my dad and I. You know what I'm saying? He the biggest Cowboy fan out there, you know?
I am getting rid of everyone. I'm firing Mike McCarthy. I'm firing whoever it is, and I'm bringing in a whole new staff.
There you go.
Tanking for Trevor. Get out of here, Cowboys. I hate the Cowboys so much. I just hate them. We're going to be talking a lot about quarterbacks today and the big decisions. And the next big decision we're going to have to make, and we'll start with you, Marcus, is would you start Tua coming off the bye week? Tua is going to be starting for the Dolphins. They're 3-3. Ryan Fitzpatrick got them to 3-3. He said his heart was ripped out when he learned of the news that he was not going to be playing anymore. And what do you think? Would you start Tua this week?
I start Tua this week. You have to start Tua this week. You know, like you went out to get him. Like Greg put out there earlier, like we literally knew we were so bad last year that we cut the people, and we made everybody get out of here that didn't want to be a part, so that we can bring in a guy who is all about being a part, which Tua has shown to be at Alabama. You know, he's a great quarterback, not even just a great quarterback to where he could run the ball, but I've seen him actually run an offense, you know, and pick apart defenses that didn't know where they needed to be and make the right throws. So if you take a number one pick and you invested in that, go ahead and give him a chance. You know what I'm saying? That's why you got him in the first round.
What happened to this whole, we're going to draft a quarterback, let him learn, and then set him free after a year of sitting behind the starter? I don't understand it anymore. Greg, what are you doing? Are you starting Tua?
I'm starting Tua, and I think you got to roll with this. What it'll be 8 weeks of learning by the time he gets out there. And so the reason I say start him, because you've got as a coach, you've got 2 reasons to start a new quarterback. One is you believe that he gives you the best hope for the future. And 2 is you suck so bad, why not put him out there? And teams know that. If I'm on that team as a receiver and we suck and you switch quarterbacks, I know you've given up hope on the season. So this is the point where he can make that switch. They're 1 game behind Buffalo in the NFC East, so they still have a very good shot. Make that switch because you believe it gives your team the best chance to win now, but also the best chance to win in next year and the year after that. So now's the time. He's got 2 weeks to prep for 1 game. Go out there and show that the coach made the right choice.
I mean, he's going to have to debut against Aaron Donald and the Rams defense. Ooh. That's a welcome to the NFL debut right there. I don't want Aaron Donald in my face if I'm Tua, especially when I haven't really taken a hit here in the last couple years, ever since I got my hip hurt.
Yeah. Better be nice to those old linemen this week, I'll tell you that.
Oh, he's taking them out to dinner, buying them some steaks and everything, trying to butter them up, protect them better.
Should. Does that work, Big Mac?
Hey, it works. It works. You know what I'm saying? It's a reason why, I love Philip so much. I call him PR, but he took care of us.
Well, yeah, you guys protected him very well. I mean, the guy hasn't missed a start since his career started. So what am I doing with Tua?
I got a quick question for Big Mac, though. So we talk about taking care of O-linemen. So it's known that quarterbacks and running backs can buy gifts for the O-lineman as appreciation. Mac, what did you get from gifts? You had Phillip behind you for a while. You had a Hall of Famer and LT behind you. Did you get anything fancy?
Man, you got a good Christmas gift every year, man. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
And I can respect that from those guys. If I go back and do it again, I would have gave them a gift card to Starbucks too. You know what I'm saying? It might not have been as fancy, but you know what I'm saying? Philip gave me a engraved shotgun one time with our names engraved on them.
That's amazing.
He's a country boy, you know what I'm saying? So he got us all some good hunting rifles and stuff like that. And he had our names engraved on the side of them, and then some electronics. When the Mac Air came out back in the day, Philip grabbed us those first. You know what I'm saying? Why not?
Awesome.
Why not? You know what I'm saying? The LT sent you wherever you wanted to in the world. Now, you know what I'm saying? Now, he laid out the red carpet, so I give him a hard time, but he probably wasn't the best man I know.
Oh, that's awesome. Greg, what happens with the receivers? Do you guys get anything? I mean,
Absolutely
you guys are the ones
nothing.
catching the balls.
We get a pass.
You get nothing?
Prima donna, come on.
I mean, I guess we should be paying. Ooh, I got a good one for you. So I had going into, let's see, I signed a new contract in 2008 that had incentives. So in the year 2009, if I got to 50 catches, my salary went up $150,000 for the following year. So going into the final game, I was at, I think, 47 catches. And I knew that I needed to get 3 catches to make an extra $150,000. So I bribed my quarterback. Chad Henne was my quarterback. I told him the situation.
Is that the guy who slept too? Is that the guy who missed his alarm a couple times?
No, Chad Henne.
No, that's Ryan Mallett.
Chad Henne is Patrick Mahomes' backup right now, and actually just scored a rushing touchdown this last week. So shout out to Chad Henne for still keeping it alive. Yeah, but I told him, and he looked at me like, "Oh yeah, we got you, no problem." And literally the first couple plays, the first drive, he threw me some 5-yard hitches, things that he really. That's probably not his first read, but he hooked me up. I got to my 50 catches. He got hit with a concussion. He was out. Pat White from West Virginia came in. I didn't see the ball again. So I bought him an iPad, and he gave me a $150,000
That's
bonus.
solid. Yeah.
Wait, you're buying him stuff, and Marcus is getting stuff bought for him. I guess because when you do catch the touchdown, they're saying your name, and you're getting the fantasy points. And,
they get the score. That's all it is. That's why nothing was ever bought in the wide receiver room. Because let's be honest, the wide receiver room is the diva room. It's the prima donna room. It is about us. Show me the money. You know what I'm saying? Give me the ball.
I love that.
True. I can't deny that. It's true.
So back to our decision. Go ahead, Marcus.
No. I love it though, man. I love it though. As an offensive lineman, we don't really get a chance to shine. So for those guys to give us gifts to show us that they really appreciate us, like it means a lot, you know what I'm saying? Because they're not really ever zooming in to the offensive lineman after a touchdown, ever. Like show me one zoom in on the offensive lineman, unless it's like, you know, offensive tackle. No, offensive tackle like catching the end zone when they run the fake play to the offensive tackle. Yeah. Like then we get a shine and a spike. But other than that, like you usually talking about us about holding or, you know, offsides.
Yeah, that's something like that, or giving up a sack or something bad. It's always like
something
they
bad.
Zoom right in on you, and then it's like the look of like, oh man, I did that. It just sucks. So you guys are both starting Tua.
Yep.
I'm not starting Tua. I'm going Ryan Fitzpatrick. I really like Ryan Fitzpatrick as the quarterback of the Dolphins right now. He's 3-3. He plays with energy, but it doesn't matter because they're starting Tua, so my decision doesn't mean anything anyway. And the last big decision we're going to have to make is for the Falcons. Now, let's start with this. How many different ways can the Falcons find to lose a game?
Isn't that amazing?
It is amazing. Todd Gurley tried to stop. I mean, it's a weird thing to begin with because the Lions players are trying to get him to score, and then and Todd Gurley's trying not to score, and then he ends up scoring, gives Matt Stafford the ball back, and boom, Falcons lose again. So how many different ways can they do that?
It's amazing the things we've seen, the onside kicks, and then losing because you couldn't not score a touchdown. That doesn't even make sense. When you get into a huddle in that situation, the quarterback comes in and he says loud and clear, do not score. And they go and score and lose the game. They're pretty much full trash, and I'm putting them in the Cowboys world of full trash. And the question is, what do you do at this point? You went to the Super Bowl, had your souls taken. You've sucked ever since. Matt Ryan has a fat contract. Do you keep him around, or do you find a place to trade him to? I get rid of him.
Ooh.
I'm cold-blooded, man. If it's not working, we gotta start. We gotta try something. We've tried for a decade with Matt Ryan. You gotta go, man. Take your big contract somewhere else. Let's figure something else out.
Ooh. You're talking good to me, man. You're talking good to me now. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know what they do, Scraby. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you, Greg and Scraby. Like, this is like the worst football that I'm seeing. Like, it's like they put the self-destruct button on every time.
Yeah.
Like, how many different ways can you really actually lose? You know, like, I'm sitting there. I just watched Penn State versus Indiana the day before on Saturday. And the running back, you know, gets a wide open, you know, they spread the seat like Moses comes out, and they let you score because they know that the only way that they can possibly win the game is if we get the ball back. So I'm thinking that Todd had to see that, you know what I'm saying? So you saw the desperation when he tried to get down on the ground, but at the same time, it's just like they constantly find ways to shoot themselves in the foot. And it wasn't just his fault because, you know, like a lot of things led up to this play, including the roughing the passer that they had on Stafford.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. I mean, I put it right into our notes. Referees are deciding games. Matt Stafford did not. He got hit, but it wasn't an egregious hit. It shouldn't have been called. It gave the Lions another chance, and they got a touchdown off of it. So Matt Ryan is the enigma right now. I mean, he's making so much money, and I don't know where the Falcons go either. But I guess you kind of have to just make that decision to cut bait. And if I'm Arthur Blank, the way he looks on the sidelines, I'm thinking he's going to cut something soon. He already fired the head coach.
Good thing Philip.
He's got all this money in the Falcons, this brand new stadium, and they're losing.
All right, Scraby, let me paint you a scenario here. You can't cut him because his contract's too big, too much dead cap.
Dang it.
You got to find somewhere to trade him to. But while we're talking about tanking for Trevor Lawrence played high school football in Cartersville, Georgia, just outside of Atlanta. What if the hometown boy comes back to Atlanta? Imagine the fanfare. Imagine how quickly people would get on board. That is just that is a marketer's dream right there.
Oh yeah.
Far-fetched.
I'm seeing dollar signs.
But it would be pretty cool.
You gonna have people running down 75 South, you know what I'm saying, coming from Cartersville. Then you gonna have people coming out of I-20 trying to get back from like South Carolina and Clemson, flooding into Atlanta just to see this boy play. But I wanted to see the Falcons do that so many times with so many different players. Like, I feel like they had a chance to get Todd Gurley early in his career, you know, when I felt like when you saw him coming out of college, you knew he was a special player, but sometimes they just don't make those types of decisions. And like, to be honest, if you have those whole time people, what's the worst that's going to happen? More fans?
Yeah, people are going to start buying jerseys. They're going to do a lot of stuff to see Trevor Lawrence play in that brand new, beautiful Mercedes-Benz stadium. So what we're doing with Matt Ryan, well, Greg's trying to kick him out of there. Sorry, Matt Ryan, you're out. Marcus doesn't know what to do. Is that correct, or are you saying out too?
Yeah, he's out. I'm sorry.
He's out.
I'm not really a Matt Ryan. I mean, it's just that time in the career, the way he's been playing, and he even said it in the interview. Like, you have to win to earn a spot to be on the team, to be that starting quarterback.
That's true.
He hasn't really shown that right now. So that your job is in jeopardy when you're not winning. That's just a fact of football. Like, if you're in the NFL and you're not winning, there's going to be some shaking up. There's going to be some heads rolling, and people going to get fired, and people going to end up displaced, but that's just the game of football.
All right, well, those are our big decisions for this week. We're going to move into some of the other notes around the NFL. And there are some big names coming back to play in the NFL that we haven't heard about or talked about in a couple years. And let's just start with, I'm going to name them and then we'll get into them. Antonio Brown is going to be a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Des Bryant is now going to be a Raven. And Le'Veon Bell, we talked about it last time. I won't toot my own horn, but I'm going to. I called the Chiefs, and he ended up going to the Chiefs.
Well done, Gravy.
Thank you very much. I mean, it's like the one thing I'm going to get right on this podcast, so I shouldn't get too used to this.
You get your props. I'm gonna give you your props, Graver.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Antonio Brown, though, that this one is a weird decision to me. I know he's a great football player, but he's a head case, and from the outside, he's a head case. I don't know why Tom Brady is putting his name on Antonio Brown. And I don't know how you guys feel about adding him to the team, but that just seems like a bad decision to me.
All right. So we got to do one thing before we continue this conversation. And that is, we have to separate Antonio Brown and his off-field antics with his legal troubles, his being a pain in the butt, with Antonio Brown, the football player. For my part of the discussion, you guys can put those together. Antonio Brown was 2 years ago the best receiver in football. He showed up to the Patriots, immediately scored touchdowns. Tom Brady loves that. He knows that as soon as this guy hits the field, I can score more touchdowns. Mike Evans has been good, but has been hurt. Godwin has been good, but has been hurt. Gronk is starting to get it together. They're building chemistry. You add the former best receiver in the league to that mix, and their offense is unstoppable. Their defense is already outstanding. Antonio Brown, minus his antics, Tom Brady can handle that. A great fit for the Bucs.
Bruce Arians said he didn't want him on the team. So how does that happen?
It's not his team, man. It's Tom Brady's team. It's the Tom Brady.
He's the coach. He's the coach.
Tampa Bay.
He's the guy who
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay. I can't stand that nickname. So stupid. What are you thinking, Marcus?
I'm not gonna lie. This is a big move right here, but that's Tom Brady, baby. Mm-hmm. We trying to figure out one thing in this NFL season right now. Forget all the other storylines. We trying to figure out, is it Tom Brady or was it Bill Belichick?
Oh, we know the answer.
You know what I'm saying? Like we try to figure that out right now. So Tom right now, he knows what's on the line right now. He's going for GOAT status, right? He's going for the GOAT status. And he needs the players and the weapons that he wants around him to be that guy. You know what I'm saying? And he's putting them there. He's putting
not to mention Gronk is looking like he's getting back into playing shape.
Yeah.
He probably thought it wasn't going to be as hard to get back in shape after he took a year off and did the whole WWE thing. But now that he's catching touchdowns, it's looking like the old Brady and Gronk, and I don't like it because the Bucs have to go through the NFC, which is my 49ers division, and I'm not too happy about possibly seeing those guys in the playoffs.
Sorry, Scraby. I'm excited to see what they can do. And Marcus said this is a debate of, was it the Patriots or the Bucs, the 2020 season, and I love them, a case study. This is a case study to determine who the GOAT is.
Stafford guy, man. Come on,
I know.
Love some hardcore evidence.
How many case studies have you consumed in your life?
Oh, millions. I used to do
millions.
Maybe not millions. I used to, in college, I would go do psychological studies for like an extra $20, $50. and subject myself to science, and now I get it in back. I get my football case studies. I just don't get any money for it.
Before we get to the next player, which is Des Bryant, Antonio Brown coming into the locker room, does that rub the guys the wrong way? I'm very curious to figure out from you guys what it's like when that guy walks into the locker room, especially if you're a wide receiver and he's taking snaps from you.
There's only one. There's probably 3 people that are rubbed the wrong way, and that is receivers 3, 4, and 5. Everybody else is excited because they know he's going to help them win a championship. The other guys just lost playing time, and I've been there. It sucks, but, I mean, he's better than those guys, and he's going to see the field.
He's clearly better. You know what I'm saying? Besides the off the field things that he's been going through, he's proven himself as a football player. You know, now, and I give Greg a hard time about this all the time because we know how the wide receiver room can be.
It's true.
You know, if you just look historically through the NFL, right? It doesn't even have to be this team. If you just look through a case study, this could be a case study for you right here.
It is.
Know, to see,
you're on board.
To see like how many like problems there were culminating from a certain position, I would probably say a good percentage of those would be wide receivers, you know, because they have an ego that it's just like an aura about themselves where, you know, like they're matched up one-on-one and they want the ball, you know, and it's not always a ball to go around. But
it's true. So in 2010, I was in Minnesota and we weren't doing all that well. They called Randy Moss back to Minnesota. Oh. And when he showed up, I mean, this dude is late in his career, but just effortless at being a great receiver. And it was fun to watch him when things were going well. As soon as things went south and he wasn't getting the balls and we weren't winning, it got ugly. He's cussing coaches out. He's telling us game plans. He literally, like on a Wednesday when they installed first, second down game plan, he stands up and he's like, this game plan is full of shit. And so when the Divas are doing well, it's great. When the Divas are struggling, it's all bad. And so you got to keep them happy.
I see you shaking your head, Marcus, about that comment from Randy Moss saying the game plan shit.
Hey, man, you hear, you know, and like, to me, it sends a shockwave through the locker room, you know, where it's instant division sometimes. And that's what you don't need on a team, because this is a team sport. So you never really want to like make that divide or make it like where you're isolating yourself away from the team, because everything has to be about, you know, one team, one common goal, one play at a time. Like that's how you have to take it. So when you make it about me, like people start looking around and it's never been good, you know? So I don't think you can have those types of things from a guy like Antonio Brown coming back. I don't think Des Bryant can do that coming back to the Ravens practice squad. Like he said today, like he couldn't possibly imagine, you know, like the position that he was in, to the point where he was crying. He couldn't stop crying.
Yeah, that's what
he
said,
like he felt like it's a privilege. So like now that they appreciate that, now you get a workhorse. You know what I'm saying? Now you get a guy that's going to come in there and like just show you that I'm supposed to be one of the best people out there. And between Des Bryant and Antonio Brown, I think it's going to be a good show, one way or another. One way or another, it's going to be a good show.
Baby, I need a little bell that's ding 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 when
ding,
Coach
ding,
Mack
ding,
hits it right. He hit the nail on the head right there. Ding ding ding.
Des Bryant going to the Ravens, he seems like you just said, he was crying uncontrollably because it was such a great opportunity for him. For me, it just seems like Des Bryant is a little bit more appreciative of his opportunity, and that's based on nothing at all because I don't know either of these guys. But Antonio Brown, I feel like he kind of just knew that he was going to work his way back in. He always had that backdoor Tom Brady, and Tom Brady just needed a little bit of daylight to get him in there. Des Bryant, I don't think ever thought he would play again. And so this is one of those things where he's like, wow, I am lucky to be playing in the NFL again. And I feel like he will play better because of that feeling, just being appreciative, as you said, being on the field.
Yeah, and they both had their careers taken away from them. Des Bryant's because of an injury, Antonio Brown because he was being an ass out in his person.
He was throwing phallic-shaped gummies at the police.
No, I mean, he it was taken away from him because he was being a dick. We get that. But when something you love and cherish is taken away from you, there's a good chance that you hold it for its value. You understand the value, and I'm hoping those guys understand that and become good teammates.
Man, I'm telling you, like, just that time that you spend out of the NFL, my old offensive line coach, Jack Henry, used to always say this saying, what's worse than camp, right? And then everybody's like, what are you talking about? Ain't nothing worse than camp. You got 2 days going. We out here sweating. I'm fighting every day. I'm bleeding. And then he'll say to you, no camp. Just like that. Like, you'll miss it when it's not there no more. You know,
True.
so the fact that Dez Bryant hasn't been in that locker room for a few years, you know, the fact that he hasn't had that camaraderie and those teammates around him, like, you start to appreciate that more, you know, and certain things you take for granted, especially when you're a great athlete like that, when you just expect to always be there because you know you're the top-notch player. But when they take it away from you, we realize how much of a privilege it is to play against this fraternity of brothers that we're in.
Le'Veon Bell is another guy we have on that list as well, and we wanted to kind of debate a little bit who has the biggest impact on the team now. And Le'Veon Bell's another guy with how can I say it, attitude issues, I guess, because he sat out that season with the Steelers, and then he's been fighting with the Jets and all that. Who out of those 3 guys, AB, Dez Bryant, Le'Veon Bell, who has the biggest impact for his team?
Le'Veon Bell. Because he is not coming off a hiatus. He has been playing. And to me, it's a matter of how they use him. We know Andy Reid is great at designing plays. Le'Veon Bell is almost as good a receiver as he is a running back. So you let him motion out, get mismatches on a safety or a linebacker and man-to-man coverage, and Mahomes is smart enough to see it and talented enough to abuse it. I'm eager to see how creative they get with using him. He's going to have a big impact.
I'm going to go with Antonio Brown. And the reason why I'm going with Antonio Brown, because he is such a dynamic player. He hasn't been out of the league that long. He was the top receiver in the league when he was in the league. So he's going to be wanting to come back and prove himself. And Tom Brady is going to find a way to get him the ball. I think the problem with Le'Veon Bell just might be the fact that they have so many weapons over there in KC that Patrick Mahomes is going to be constantly giving the ball to a Travis Kelce. You know, he's going to constantly be going to Tyreek Hill. He still has, you know, a great running back, a new great rookie running back. So he's going to be spreading the ball so thin that I don't think that it really fits Le'Veon Bell to actually be the star or really make the type of impact that we would see or expected to see with him when he was playing for the Jets. Dez Bryant, I don't take him because he's starting off on the practice squad. So he's going to have to prove himself. So I don't know if he even gets a chance this year, but because of the athlete and the talent that he has as a wide receiver, I think by next year, he will definitely be stepping into a position where we see him being a great receiver, and hopefully he still has a few years under his belt.
I saw Clyde Edwards-Helaire step up his game too, knowing that Le'Veon Bell was coming in. I think that Tuesday night game, he had 160 yards rushing right after the news came down. So maybe it was a motivating thing. Andy Reid he could be a genius. I mean, he is a genius, football genius, and maybe that was his whole motivation, was trying to get a good player in there and get Clyde Edwards-Helaire to step up. Real fun, quick question: is Derrick Henry better than Le'Veon Bell?
Oh, Scravy, that's a tough one. I mean, right now you have to say he is, just out of pure production. But if going into next year I was starting a team, I'm starting it with Le'Veon Bell instead of Derrick Henry.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Just the how multifaceted he is. You know, he can catch the ball, he can run the ball, he can run between the tackles, he can run outside. I mean, no disrespect to Derrick Henry. I'm gonna send him this. I've got a major man crush on Derrick Henry's running ability, but I would pick Le'Veon Bell first.
I hope he comes and stiff arms you like he did.
That's not funny, man. I might die from a Derrick Henry stiff arm.
Like, come on, man. Have you seen Derrick Henry right now? Like,
he's great.
He's a man. Yeah. He's a man amongst boys. Like Le'Veon Bell in his heyday, some of the things that I saw him doing in Pittsburgh, I love to see him the way he was multifaceted, being able to run, block, and catch out the backfield. Like, I like to see that in my running back position. But at the same time, I haven't seen it lately. And we all know that this is what have you done for me lately, league. And right now, Derrick Henry got the whole team, whole city of Nashville on his back. And
it's true. Hey, Mac's on fire tonight, man. You're changing minds.
Ding, 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 ding,
I'm
ding.
not 100% convinced, but Mac's on fire right now.
Hey, man, I'll take it. I'll take it. That was an easy one, though. You can't go against. You can't bet against Derrick Henry right now. Nope.
I just wrote down, send Derrick Henry the audio. So I'm going to get that done so that we can get a little stiff arm going on, stiff arm action. Let's stay with the Titans. Ryan Tannehill just signed a contract in this offseason. I think we talked about before the show. It was like 4 years, $118 million. But what do you guys think? Do you believe that he is as good as he's showing, or is he just a product of a good situation?
Man.
Well, what you want to say? I already know what I'm going to say.
Go for it.
Because right now, we just got off the gravy train. You know what I'm saying? Talk about Derrick Henry. And that's what he's on right now. He's on the gravy train right now. You don't need to do much when you have a running back like that. And then you have a defensive-minded coach like you have in the head coach. Like, you already have the defense hitting on all cylinders. You have a running back that can run over everybody. And then, I don't know if you guys noticed, but DK Metcalf is fast. And he had a teammate at Ole Miss, and A.J. Brown, who is just as fast, that took off for 73 last week. Now.
And almost as big.
Yeah, almost as big. I don't know if you've seen a picture of them standing side by side, but this is pretty intimidating. It's pretty intimidating. So
yeah, everybody's talking about DK Metcalf right now.
Hey,
rightfully so.
Yeah, but you say you want to talk about DK Metcalf?
No, I said everyone's talking about DK Metcalf.
I don't know what else there is to talk about, man. This man is like that. When I saw him run that guy down, right, I'm sitting there imagining myself, right, how scary of a sight it had to be to like look over your shoulder and then see this guy barreling down the field at you, like at that speed, at that size, right? You could kind of see you could see him like flinch up when he looked over his shoulder, like, oh, you know what I'm saying? And like that's just amazing to me. DJ Metcalf has been a monster since he came out of Ole Miss. I knew he was going to be a monster with Russell Wilson because of the way Russell can move out of that pocket and just throw that ball down the field. And then when you throw the ball down the field, 40-inch vertical, I'm running a 4.3. I got a broad jump. I broad jump 11 feet. That's standing still. So how far am I jumping? How far am I jumping after I'm actually running full speed?
Yeah,
you know, like how many yards am I actually moving in the air then? So he's Megatron number 2.0, 0.5, point everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that Greg is sold on DK.
Oh, I'm 100% sold on DK. He became my favorite player this last weekend. And I mean, I've loved his receiving ability, especially with Russell Wilson. He's going to make him possibly in an upcoming years the best, if not one of the best receivers in the NFL. But when I saw him chase that dude down, I mean, I knew he was fast, but what tells me the most about him is the mindset. As soon as that ball was intercepted, he took off in a full sprint. That is pure effort that you are not going to get from 99% of players, regardless of how
22.64 miles an hour is how fast he travels.
Yeah. But I mean, that's just, I mean, the dude's fast, but to me, it was the mindset of I can go make this play. And if you watch the replay, I've done it a million times again. There's no hesitation. Ball's intercepted. He looks for an angle and starts sprinting. And he doesn't sprint for like 5 yards. He takes an angle that says, this is going to be an 80-yard sprint. And I love that mentality. That's how you get teammates behind you. That's how people love you as a teammate. And that's how you can win games. And it almost was the difference between the game.
It was almost the difference between the game. So we got to DK through AJ Brown. Let's get Greg's opinion on Ryan Tannehill, whether or not he's a product of a good situation or if he's a good quarterback.
He is a good quarterback. He's not a great quarterback, but he's playing at a great level right now because he's in a good situation. So he is the product of a good situation. So briefly in my career, I was on the practice squad in San Diego, played 1 year special teams, no catches. I go to Miami. I do 1 year as a reserve. They changed the entire staff. I fell into a good situation where I suddenly became a starting receiver. It wasn't because I suddenly got way better. It was because I was in a great situation for my ability to play. Ryan Tannehill was also in Miami with Adam Gase, which we've learned Adam Gase is the problem, not Ryan Tannehill. But it wasn't a good situation for his career. And now he's in a good situation. He's playing lights out. He got paid. And he's not a top tier quarterback, but he's playing at that level because he's in a good situation.
That is true, because like in my career in radio, I could be in a good situation or a bad situation, and it just all depends on how the dominoes fall sometimes. And I don't know, Marcus, I think you were a second round pick, is that correct?
Yeah, second round.
So you came in and were you the starter from the beginning, or did you have to prove yourself?
I definitely had to prove myself, and you have to on the next level. Every level that you step up to, from high school to college, from college to the pros, it's like you have to get rid of everything that you've done on that previous level and prove yourself again. So you have to step up. But like Greg says, sometimes you just fall into certain good situations, or you just fall into the right situation. Because I can't say it's a good situation. Previously for me, the times that I was able to start, somebody was injured and I was just able to step in and then actually play well, so it wasn't a situation where, I just came in and I automatically started starting. I had to play consistently. And then, misfortunately, Robin Oben had a foot injury that he was coming off of. So he was still rehabbing that. And then Leander Jordan had a little bit of I think a concussion issue, if I'm not mistaken. So he missed some time in training camp. And then, it was just my job to just step up and then show that I was supposed to be there, and I did that. And I think that happens around the league. And everybody doesn't get that chance, Matt. Like everybody doesn't get that chance. I've seen so many players with so much talent who just don't quite get a chance because either that guy in front of them, they look so highly on that they're not going to give you that chance, or, it's just not a situation where you get the amount of reps that you need.
Yeah, that's a bummer when you feel like a coach is holding you back, or a boss or something like that, because you feel like you're so much better than you're being treated. But you just got to show yourself. When it's time, you got to turn it on.
Hey, you get one shot, Scrappy. That's what I'm telling you. It don't matter what you do. You better make it happen, baby.
Scrappy, think
one
about
shot at the title.
Think about that one sack you had in high school and how many more you could have had with it better.
Oh man, if my coaches would just trust me on the field a little bit more, I would have had
two,
at least
maybe
two.
Even 3 sacks.
I felt like I heard about you, Scrappy, somewhere.
You heard about me all the
legend.
way.
It was like an urban legend.
All the way from Auburn. You heard about the big sack of La Costa Canyon, Matt Scraby. That makes my day, actually. I'm going to be smiling for the rest of the week. Real quick, before we get to the rapid fire, we talked about DK hitting 22.64 miles an hour, running down that field. What about Daniel Jones's 80-yard run on Thursday Night Football, where he got sniped at like the 15-yard line? Now, the strange fact I want to bring up here is that he was the third fastest sprint of an offensive player for week 7. So he was traveling faster than Tyreek Hill was clocked at this year. Like, how is that even possible? Daniel Jones is running faster than Tyreek Hill.
Nobody gets that much room on the field to run, first and foremost. Nobody gets like, Moses coming and parting the sea. And I mean, he read it right. And that's the way he got open. But nobody typically gets to run for that amount of time that fast, like just on a straight dead angle. So, kudos to him. But I wouldn't. Was it an 80-yard run or an 80-yard stumble?
It was an 80-yard stumble.
So this is why I get along with Big Mac. There was a case study and he's poking holes in it as to what's wrong with the scientific study. Daniel Jones in the combine ran a 4.82 40. There's no way humanly possible you are going to tell me that he runs faster than Tyreek Hill. I'm going to roll with Big Mac again is on fire. He found a hole in the study that no one else had space like that. That's why Daniel Jones is running.
Yeah, you don't get to just take off running at an angle like that, just straight off dead on sprint. It's usually like turning a corner, and then you got to, kind of get away, and then you're still running at an angle, so you're not really ever running in a straight line. So ain't no way in the world y'all about to give me Daniel Jones over Tyreek Hill.
Nah.
You ain't giving me Daniel Jones.
All right, what about DK? What about DK Metcalf and Tyreek Hill? I heard that they're gonna maybe set up a sprint in the offseason to see who's faster.
Man,
who you got there?
Sign me up for that. If it's over 60 yards, I'm going to go with DK. If it's anything less than 60 yards, Tyreek is just too fast out of the gates.
Ooh. Yeah, I like that. Tyreek is way too fast out of the gate, but I don't know if you ever catch up. I can't see anybody really catching up with Tyreek Hill, though, and he's so fast out the gate. Like, you have to walk Tyreek Hill down, and, like, is that even possible?
Tyreek Hill ran a 4.29 40, and DK ran a 4.33 40. So we're talking.
Wow.
Speed.
That's close.
Right there.
DK is twice the size of Tyreek Hill.
His strides are like Tyreek Hill has to take 3 steps for his 1 step. I figured out why Marcus heard about me all the way in Auburn, Alabama. It was because, I was running at 22 miles an hour when I went for that sack. And that's why. That's why. You heard the hit from around the country.
We believe it.
All right, let's go to a rapid fire.
Scraby, for a second,
what's that?
Because you weren't ready to 22.
I was running 22, maybe 22 or 2.2 miles.
There you go.
There you go. You got to move. You got to move it over. You got to move the decimal over.
I forgot to carry the decimal. I had a friend text me and go, "Why are you claiming that sack? It was like the weakest sack ever." And hey, you get out of here. My sack is my sack.
Hey, there's probably no film. There's no VHS tape from then, so we're good. We'll just believe it's a sack.
It's supposed to get better and better, Scraby. All right. By the time we finish this, it needs to be 2 sacks, you know what I'm saying, and a forced fumble. All right.
Oh, and a forced fumble. I like that. I also ran back a kick as well. We're going to talk about that.
Whoa, Scraby. Whoa now. Whoa.
Oh, whoa.
Whoa. That's season 2.
Yeah. It's season 2. Let's get into our rapid fire. I thought this was pretty fun last time. Basically, I have 7 names or topics in front of me right here, and you guys are just going to give your first reaction to them. Now, difference from last week, you guys don't know what I'm going to give you now, so you don't have any time to think about it, and we're going to go snake draft. Let's. Who wants to go first in this one?
I'll run it first. Let's go.
All right, let's go. First name on rapid fire is Adam Gase.
Ooh.
That's your answer.
Oof.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Sorry, Adam. I don't know you.
What do you think, Greg?
Crazy eyes. You saw the first
yeah.
interview when he was a Jets coach. He had them crazy eyes.
He did.
No player wants to follow a coach that got crazy eyes like that. It was over from then. Should have fired him there.
Okay. I can see why. He's not attractive enough. Okay. Next
Have you seen the video? He looked insane. Like he looked like it was the moment was too big for him. He was losing his brain. It was not.
Who's the president of Russia? Putin? He kind of looked like Putin a little bit.
It was bad. A leader should not look like that.
He was he following a fly too? Man, I don't know what was going on, but his eyes were going in different directions. All right, Greg, you're up first on this one. Right. Rapid fire. Falcons.
Trash. I mean,
Marcus?
Yeah, go ahead. No, Marcus, you're up.
Disappointing. That like I'm an Atlanta boy, so I've been disappointed for years now. So just disappointing. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right, Marcus, you're up first. Eric Reed.
Eric Reed. Phenomenal. Yeah.
Greg?
No.
Oh, man. Leader? I mean, the man put his job and his livelihood on the line to stand up for something he believed in, or to kneel for something he believed in.
Yeah, the reason I'm bringing him up is because he turned down a practice squad gig with the Washington football team, which I think he's probably a little bit above the practice squad of the Washington football team. But...
Yeah, like everybody is.
All right, Greg, you're up first. Josh Allen.
Great white hype. I love this guy. Josh Allen has come alive. Yeah. I'm excited to watch him grow. I love what he's doing.
Marcus, Josh Allen.
I like him. I'm gonna put it right there. I like him. I'm not.
What's the hesitation?
I still haven't seen it yet. You have to prove yourself in some of the big games for me, and he hasn't been there yet.
He seems to me like, this isn't my segment, but he ruins a lot of plays. He runs backwards.
Those throws, on third down sometimes.
It's like, what are you thinking? He does. All right, this one I really like. Marcus, you're up first. Both of you are former Chargers. Justin Herbert.
The new franchise quarterback.
he does look really good. He looks really good. Greg, what do you say about Justin Herbert?
Future. They've got a good quarterback. Lot to build on. He has a bright future.
Richard Sherman tweeted, I haven't seen him actually play, but that Justin Herbert kid dropping dimes. I mean, when you're getting praise on Twitter from Richard Sherman, you're doing something right.
Stanford guy. I mean, it's hard for a Stanford guy to give an Oregon guy praise, I'll tell you that. But Herbert, his poise, his arm, the guy just looks good.
Do you think Richard Sherman loves case studies as much as you do, Greg?
He absolutely loves case studies.
It's probably they probably have case study like little get-togethers.
Yeah, like potluck, case study potluck.
Yeah, the whole university is
case study potluck. Bring your own case study. We'll all talk about it together. All right.
Yeah. All right, Greg, you're up first. There's two more. Aaron Rodgers.
Still got it. He's still got it.
I like that. Marcus, Aaron Rodgers.
Man, he's no longer on my fantasy team. I had him the last 2 years, and he didn't do nothing for me. And now all of a sudden, he the man. That's all I'm going to say. I'm a little mad, Aaron. I'm a little mad.
All right, last one, Marcus. Patrick Mahomes.
$400 million man.
He sure is.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, he need to have Ric Flair coming out in front of him. You know what I'm saying? Because he could be a champagne drinking, limousine driving. You know what I'm saying? He a bad man when he got that offense rolling.
That's true. Greg, Patrick Mahomes.
He's the truth. He is the best quarterback. He has set the bar for what quarterbacks can do, and no one else can do what he does.
All right, that does it for Rapid Fire. That does it for episode number 2. I think our title for this episode is just going to be Case Studies and More Case Studies. Because we did mention case studies of
hardcore evidence. I'm about it.
Keyword case study.
Greg Camarillo, the sound effects man. He was trying to download an app with sound effects during episode number 2, but...
Oh, yeah?
Hey, Marcus, relax, man.
Oh, yeah.
And your mother ugly and your sister ugly. You just plain old ugly.
What is that?
I'm coming in hot next week, episode 3, sound effects.
Oh my goodness.
Well, you were already Rick Ross. Yesterday we were texting and you had your mic and you're like, I'm Rick Ross, baby.
Yeah,
that's DJ Khaled / Pitbull with the hair.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Everybody go to Spotify, go to Apple Podcasts, search for us, 2 Pros and a Joe, and the 2 is the numeric 2. Subscribe to us, share us, let us know what's going on. We really appreciate everyone and what they did for episode number 1. We're going to continue to grow this. We're probably going to start doing more of these, and we're just going to go from there. We're starting from the bottom. Now we're here. Is that how you do it?
Hey, man. Hey, can I put in one last thing? You know what I'm saying? And I know this is a football podcast, and I love all y'all, but I just want to say, go vote, and that's it.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
I already voted.
Can't argue with that. Just go vote.
Go vote.
Go vote. All right, let's leave it at that. 2 Pros and a Joe. Everyone make sure they vote, and we'll talk to you next week with another episode number 3. Cool.